Although there has been many attempts at providing a definition of trust and trustworthiness in areas such as philosophy, sociology, economics, psychology, organization studies, cognitive science, risk management, and computer science, no consensus about single and universal definitions have been reached. Depending on the specific disciplinary focus, the various definitions suggested emphasize and frame trust and trustworthiness in very different ways. Moreover, like with many other abstract concepts such as justice, money, love, and freedom, trust and trustworthiness are hard to grasp because there is no one-to-one correspondence between these concepts and their manifestation in the world. Many of the definitions used in the context of human-AI interactions are originally developed for understanding trust and trustworthiness between people. Consider, for example, the two most used definitions of trust used in current research on human-AI interaction. The definition by Meyer et al. From 1995 is widely used because it directly links trust to vulnerability and perceived trustworthiness, both central to how people engage with AI systems. Humans cannot fully control or monitor AI decision-making, so trust becomes the willingness to accept dependency despite uncertainty. Differently, the definition by Lee and Xie from 2004 is describing trust as an attitude. As such, they are focusing less on moral qualities and more on a person's psychological stance towards an agent in goal-directed context in situations where uncertainty and vulnerability is present. Trust is influenced by multiple interacting factors that shape how it is formed, maintained, or violated. Together, these factors explain why trust is not static or uniform, but context-dependent and dynamic across relationships, institutions, and technologies. There are factors related to personality or individual traits such as risk tolerance, optimism, or attachment style affect baseline willingness to trust. Some people are disproportionately more trusting, while others are skeptical regardless of context. Cultural context is also important to consider as norms and values guide how trust is extended. Collectivist cultures may emphasize relational trust built through loyalty and shared identity, while individuals' cultures may emphasize competence and contractual reliability. Much work has also been focusing on situational aspects as the level of risk, uncertainty, and stakes in a specific interaction shapes trust decisions. High-risk situations demand stronger assurance of trustworthiness, while lower-stakes contexts may allow quick or casual trust. Since trust evolves through experience, the condition of time should not be overlooked. While initial trust may be based on reputation or institutional signals, long-term trust requires consistent positive interactions. A single betrayal can erode trust faster than it was built. Considerations about the tasks also influence what kind of trust is needed. Routine, low-complexity tasks may require trust in reliability, while high-stakes or ambiguous tasks demand trust in both competence and benevolence. The nature of trust as multidimensional and context-dependent makes it difficult to study. The first and rather inconvenient challenge is that it is not possible to directly study trust because research ethics restricts exposing participants to real vulnerability or risk of harm. As such, studies can only simulate trust situations rather than creating genuine context where participants' well-being, resources, or safety are at stake. This means trust research often relies on hypothetical scenarios, controlled tasks, or symbolic stakes, which capture important aspects of trust but cannot fully replicate the lived experience of entrusting oneself under real conditions of risk. When planning a study, a trust violation instance is required for the measure of trust because it is most clearly revealed when it is tested under conditions of risk, uncertainty, or potential betrayal. By introducing a violation, such as an error or failure, researchers can observe how participants calibrate their trust, whether it is diminished, how quickly it recovers, or if it collapses entirely. This makes violations essential for distinguishing superficial reliance from genuine trust and for understanding the dynamics of trust erosion and repair. Trust is also studied through one-shot measures or longitudinal designs because these approaches capture different aspects of its dynamics. One-shot measures assess trust at a single point in time, often after an interaction or scenarios, providing a snapshot of participants' willingness to rely on another agent. This is useful for control experiments where the goal is to isolate the effect of a specific factor, such as system accuracy or transparency. In contrast, longitudinal studies track trust across multiple interactions or over time, allowing researchers to observe how trust develops, stabilizes, deteriorates, or recovers after violation. Studies on trust often use subjective measures such as self-reports, questionnaires, or interviews to assess participants' attitudes, perceptions, and feelings of trust, which provides insight into their internal psychological state. However, these rely on introspection and can be biased or inconsistent with actual behavior. Objective measures such as behavioral reliance on a system, response times, or choice under uncertainty are sometimes added to capture observable actions that indicate trust in practice. Using both measures allows researchers to compare what people say about their trust with what they do, offering a more comprehensive and reliable picture of trust in human-AI interaction. In the human-AI interaction context, the factors shaping trust can be organized in relation to the human user or the trustor agent, the AI system or the trustee agent, and the situation in which the interaction occurs that is also considered the context. The human factors include demographics such as age, gender, education, and cultural background, which influence general comfort with technology. Prior familiarity with AI is also relevant since users with experience can more likely trust new systems. Personality traits, including risk tolerance, openness, and conscientiousness, can shape users' willingness to accept uncertainty. Self-confidence can affect whether users critically evaluate AI outputs or rely on them more passively. AI factors involve apparent agency or how autonomous and goal-directed the system appears. Interactivity level allows users to communicate, query, or control the AI, which builds engagement and verification. Especially in high-stakes context, failure rate, even with minor errors, can reduce trust in AI. Understandability, meaning transparent and explainable decisions, can enhance the perceived reliability of AI. Situational factors include potential benefits, where users weigh advantages like efficiency or accuracy against risks. Social influence includes endorsement or norms that shapes users' expectations. Task complexity with high risk, ambiguous or difficult tasks require users' strong confidence in the AI's competence and alignment. The interplay of these factors determines not only whether users trust AI, but also how it is calibrated. I have provided much input on the social and moral aspect of user trust in AI, which might take some time to digest. For now, there are at least a few overall points I'd like to emphasize to conclude this section of the MOOC. First, I have shown how current advancements in AI puts trust in human-AI interaction under pressure. Although black box AI models are better at handling complex and unstructured data, the lack of transparency poses serious challenges for users to understand and explain AI behavior and decisions. An increasing focus on the social and moral aspect in research and regulatory discussions about user trust in AI and the development of trustworthy AI is therefore necessary. By acknowledging human vulnerability and the inequality of capacities or power in human-AI interaction, the challenge becomes finding a balance where user trust in AI fosters support and collaboration without leaving individuals exposed to harm. Considering the theoretical work and empirical studies so far, it seems that trust and trustworthiness in human-AI interaction is no less complex and dynamic than that found between people. Fortunately, the various disciplinary perspectives and research methods used to explore the topic of user trust in AI are gradually deepening our current understanding. Even though there are still many open questions to address and much work still to be done, there will only be an increasing need for exploring and studying the social and moral aspects of user trust in AI. The body of literature on trust research is considerable, especially when also including more interdisciplinary perspectives. Besides the frequent publications of journal articles across various disciplines, I like to recommend a few books that I found very helpful for my own work on the topic of trust and trustworthiness. For an engaging and easy entry overview, Müllering reviews in his book Trust, Reason, Routine, Reflexivity from 2006 a broad range of trust research and extracts 3 main perspectives adopted in the literature for understanding trust. In the Routledge Handbook of Trust and Philosophy, edited by Simon in 2020, various scholars covers the most salient topics in various theories of trust by focusing on what trust is, whom to trust, and trust in knowledge, science, and technology. Edited by Lyon, Müllering, and Sanders in 2016, the second edition of the Handbook of Research Methods on Trust provides an extensive and up-to-date account of quantitative, qualitative, and mixed methods for empirical research on trust. In the very recent book, AI Research Agenda for Trust, Interdisciplinary Perspectives, contributions from different scholars explore how trust is formed, maintained, and sometimes broken in a variety of contexts, from purely social relationships to the complex interplay of people with emerging technologies like AI and increasingly autonomous robots. If you have any questions or like to reach out to me for knowledge exchange, you can contact me via phone or email. I also have a professional website which you are very welcome to visit. This is all from my side, and thank you for your attention.